and happy Wednesday. My Wednesday live for at 4 o'clock Pacific time to be a helpfulness for you. I am Natasha Venter. I am an intuitive medium, personal awareness life type of person who can help you with your day-to-day walk and in your story. And thank you for being here, whoever's here already. And I'm so grateful for you, Catherine. Thank you for our conversation. That was very insightful. And that's the thing is right now we're all in this moment. And oh shoot, I was going to look up something here. I'm going to actually open up a new tab here. And as I heard, because I want to look up a word for us, because this um, this is um, uh, this is one of those things that we're really asked to do is to discern our way through our life. And that's what I'm going to look up, but then I have to figure out how to spell something when I have my here. I'm going to move my camera here. S CERN. See. Spelling here. Discern. Okay, so it's like it's that knowing of who we are and what we're doing, and it's time really for us to discern through our story, through our knowings, through our ability, through our interactions, through what we're doing. And that's what today's show was, is how to discern our way through our life. Now, discern our mind, discern our bodies, discern our souls, discern our stories. How can we discern who we are through our knowings? And we can only be who we are. We can only go forward in what we are. And that's the thing about life is that when we are discerning our way through our life, many times we can figure out what we're doing. And so it's what do you mean by discern? So discern is to come to a known or a recognized mentality, to recognize or identify it as a separate or a distinct knowing. And discernment. So she could finally discern the shape of the skull. It's that I can discern no difference between two policies. So that's that finding out who we are and what we're doing. It's that discerning into what am I supposed to say? What am I supposed to think? What am I supposed to discern on my body? Does my body feel this way about this situation, or does my body feel that way about a situation? And so discerning. So looking up the discern is that when you recognize or perceive something, so you're discerning either it's a difference or it's an alike thing. So, how many times do you discern when you're having a conversation with somebody that you go, oh, this person has a lot of that I am? So, you're discerning that there's a likeness, right? Or if you're discerning through something about this conversation does not really align with me. No, it really doesn't align with me, right? Well, you're discerning that it's not of a likeness. And so, going into this, that I'm going to go back to my camera here, that when we can be who we are and go forward in what we're doing, that being of discernment in our life is so powerful, because you can really discern if somebody's saying something to you that does not align with you, that you take it differently, that you take it in differently. And I practice this daily with some people that I'm around, and it really helps me to say, well, that's that rabbit hole, not mine, or that's that person's story, not mine. And I honor you, I love you, I'm grateful for you, but it's not mine. And so going into this, that when we really can discern and stay in our alignment, and that's what I want people to know is that when we can stay more in alignment with us, that it does help. And alignment doesn't mean grounded. Alignment means that I can stand in wind and I'll stay more upright. I can stay more in sync with my understandings because we are being thrown at so many things on our outer world. So many things in our outer world that it's hard to find what is a truth. What is a truth? Now, for me, I understand that something is a truth when my gut is calm. That's one way that I discern if it's a truth or not. Because if it's not a truth, my tummy is kind of in turmoil and it's not feeling very good. And so going into that, what is it that your body does when things don't feel quite right? We all get into this place where, we're in this world of, and I don't know if it's me or other people, and I've had a couple conversation with a couple people that since the end of June, it seems like that we have been in this like heavy energy of something. And I was having a conversation with somebody earlier today, and it was like, you know um it was almost like being in a cocoon of a butterfly that, I'm feeling like I'm just hearing this a muffling, of things happening around me, and I'm not necessarily able to take it all in, or do I want to take it all in? So going into this, that being who I am and being what we're doing is that sometimes, I use life, I use the butterflies, I use the butterflies life cycles to negotiate what's happening in my life. So, like, let's say if a butterfly is in the egg stage, it's in the beginning stage. So, that could be any stages of our life. Or I'm in the caterpillar stage, which is eating, right? The caterpillar that munch and munch and munch and eats. Well, it's gaining information by what it's eating, because every leaf has an information, every blade of grass has information, everything that has it has information. So we're gaining that information. And then there's a time where we're like in the chrysalis, the cocoon, that we are integrating what we know. We're kind of slowing down. We're not making any movement. We're kind of feeling heavy. And sometimes, like I was saying to this friend of mine that, that we were, it's almost like we're in the cocoon, and sometimes we're in a cocoon that is in the sun, and I didn't realize I was going to get beaten up by the sun so much, or, that it's a little windier and I'm getting tossed around and I don't know why I'm getting tossed around, or I'm just kind of like in this muffled, like what just happened around me? I don't know what's happening because I'm slower than the world around me, or I'm actually in a different vibration than the world around me. I mean, I was in the shower yesterday morning, and all of a sudden, the walls of the shower were moving, and it wasn't my eyes, it was my intuition, and they were moving, and it was like almost the world was the matrix, if you want to call it, or the dimensions were moving around. And I went, okay, here we are in this reality now, that the world around us is going to be changing, time is going to be changing, energy is going to be changing. And like I was doing something, to talk about time changing, is that I was down in California and I was undoing a knot of two necklaces together, and I looked up and 3 hours went by, and I thought it was only 15 minutes. Even though I knew reality, that things happened around me, that things were changing. Sun was changing, this other thing was changing, life was changing, but I was actually just focused in on this. And so going into this, that we're in this moment of reality and things changing, and what are we going to do about it? Because sometimes we are in that stage where we're out, just coming out of the chrysalis of the butterfly, as I was talking about the stages of the butterfly, and our wings, we're having to spread our wings, but oh my gosh, is it painful to stretch those wings for the first time? People don't really realize how much stretching your wings for the first time and getting them unsticky, that's a stage of life too, is when we're ready to expand our wings, but yet we're still feeling confined by that chrysalis, the cocoon, even though we've broken out of it, but we're still trying to stretch our wings. And I know for me that I'm ready. I feel this energy of expansion and things are ready to go, but I'm still in this stuck stage. And you know and that's where I may be feeling now that, coming together with this conversation I had earlier, just before coming on the show, that it was like, that's maybe where I'm at, is this stuckness of my wings aren't expanding yet, but yet I'm in this moment where it's like I'm here but not there. And I don't know if anybody else is feeling that way. Hi, Veronica. I don't know if anybody else is feeling there, but it's like, why aren't things coming together? But yet things are coming together. Oh my gosh. I'm feeling very much empowered about my life. I'm very much feeling, energized about my life. But the thing is, though, there's no movement yet. So going into this, we can be out of the chrysalis, ready to stretch our wings, but our wings are still stuck. So, discerning, going back to discernment, how do we discern through that moment where we're feeling stuck but not? But, it's like, how does it feel to be able to negotiate the world that we're in? But discern what is that is my truth compared to other people's truths. Well, I'm getting a lot of input with ideas, free opportunities, three things that are coming forward. And I'm gaining information from that knowing to be able to make my next step into this dance. And that's the thing is like when the butterfly first goes to its first flower, to get the nectar, to get the nutrients to be able to fly again and still stretching its wings. Do you know how thirsty it is for information, for knowledge, for fluid, for vitamins, for nutrition? It's huge. It's horrendous. And I'm in the energy of butterfly right now. So I'm feeling that, oh my gosh, I'm so hungry feeling, getting to that first flower. And so what do we do is that when we're ready to move that next step, be willing to get information to be able to negotiate it. But then again, is discern. Try not to be in the empowerment of other people's truths. Glean from that empowerment. Understand that some of the empowerment that a lot of people have may be naysayers in our life. I have been lovingly in energies where I've had a lot of naysayers or judgmentalness. Well, that's not necessarily that I'm going to say, no, 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 no. I'm going to say, what are you here to teach me? And that's how I discern my way through that energy is that I ask the mantra, what is this here to teach me? Because not everybody is in alignment with me. And I don't expect everybody to be in alignment with me and what I'm saying. Your truth is your truth. I'm just here to give a perspective and understanding because of the fact that, like I was listening to this one guy that he does quantum physics and all that kind of stuff. And he was even saying that here soon that there's going to be so many untruths out on the internet because of AI, that that what are we going to discern that is a truth? I know sometimes we Google Google, right? Well, what is a truth? We can get tons of truth and find a truth that is for us. So going into this, it's really time to really tune into our bodies, our knowings, because our body is going to know a truth or not. And there are many things that we can get into the energy of the flow of it and be with it. Get, glean, take, borrow, um, you know, get from other people's understandings and knowings as a collective energy so that we can be the butterfly that flies our wings. So, how are we today? What is in this moment? Where are we at? Well, life is changing in front of us. And I can tell you, listening to other intuitives, including my team that I listen to, that I know that the end of this year is going to be a topsy turvy, and then into 25 is going to be another topsy turvy. But I'm going to ride the ride because I appreciate my life and knowing that I'm here for a reason. And I'm going to be an advocate for love and light. That is my call to action, is to be an advocate for love and light through the darkness that we're becoming. And so I want to be that for you. And if I can do that for you, I can do that for myself. So I'm going to discern a little bit more here, that how do you discern your body's language? How do you? Do you listen to your tummy tops and turving? Do you feel your heart when it pitter patters? Because your heart's going to pitter patter when it's scared, and it's going to pitter patter when it is excited. So, how do you discern the two different feelings of your heart pitter pattering and your tummy flip and flopping? Because it's going to be both. But I can tell you that there's almost like it's almost like there's a, how things are clockwise and anti-clockwise, or the other way, anti-clockwise, or whatever that language is. So sometimes when my stomach flips backwards, it ain't a good feeling. But if it flips forward, it's like, and that's where you can discern. So start listening, feeling what your tummy is telling you, what your heart is telling you. Really start feeling it, knowing it, reading it, talking with it, engaging with it. Which way does your heart flutter when you're excited about something? Does it flutter up, or does it flutter down and heavier? Ooh, that's a question, right? So, going into this, what are you going to do with your understanding and your being of who you are? When we're excited, when we get those chills, the goosebumps, is it because things are happening for us? Or sometimes it's not. But I can tell you, when I'm more in sync, I get goosebumps. That's the People call them God bumps. Sometimes they call them the right bumps or whatever it is. And so going into this, that we can really listen to our body, and our body with our team, our intuitive team, our soul knowings, because our soul interacts with our body, our higher self work interacts with our body. That when we go into our body knowing, we can discern a lot through our values and our knowings and our, like if we're asked, in an interview, should I take this job or not? Should I take this job or not? Well, ask that question. Should I take this job? And then read what that feeling is. And then ask another question. Is this job going to be better for me to take? Ooh, does that have a low feeling or a high feeling? Is this job going to give me the values and the interests that I'm looking for? Ooh, that feels like a yes. Is this going to give me the inspiration that I'm looking for? No. Okay, so then discern out. If you get a yes for 5 out of your 6 questions, then you know that that job may have a scenario that you're going to learn from it. So it's not going to be so conclusively better for you, but then it's going to teach you something, right? And then you have these other things that you're discerning through. So ask many different questions if you can. And your body, once you practice, this is a practice to do better. And I would start practicing more now than later, because we're coming into where we're going to be thrown into a lot of truths out there. And this world, I've said this several times. I'm feeling the energy of Shiva out there. Shiva is about destruction to rebuilding. So destruction to creation. So when Shiva is at hand, we're going to go through some life altering expressions, right? And I know, Veronica, you're going through a life altering moment with somebody moving out of your area that you valued spending time with. So that's your destruction to recreation, which is, what are you going to do next in your life? What is that creation that you're going to create for yourself? So everybody's destruction is different. It could be as simple as is that I can't eat that anymore. That's destruction to creation. So what can I fix instead of that? And I know for me that I'm come to the realization that peanut butter may not be good for me anymore because I have released about, well, I released a lot of emotions too now that I think about it, but I've released about 5 pounds in the last 3 weeks. Well, in the last 3 weeks, if you didn't notice my videos on YouTube, that I did a big release throwing rocks into the ocean. Don't want to go back there. That was a moment, right? So I released, transformed a lot of that energy. And then when I came back, I've changed my diet. I'm not eating the peanut butter, which has a lot of molds, which is a lagoon, so it has a lot of particles in it that aren't that almost like have shards or whatever you want to call them in them that aren't healthy. And I don't really eat any other legumes besides peanut butter. So going into this, maybe my body is enjoying less mold in it. Hmm. Come to think about that, that's probably a good thing, right? So I'm discerning because my body is reaction to something has been happiness over heaviness. Do you get how I'm discerning through things here? And it's not a straight line. There's that story of where, it's like the life's journey, or the journey that we want to take is a straight line, right? But then God's journey with us is an up, down, around and out, no, all over the place, right? So I'm getting from my body that it's happier with a cleaner sense of diet. Now, I'm being a little headachy if after I eat chicken. So I'm thinking that it's not chicken, but it's the pesticides the chicken is given. So I have to be careful where I get my chicken. So going into this, where can we discern our story? What can we discern to get ourselves happier? What can we discern to be ourselves? So now I'm going to come back to discerning our voice. I'm telling you that even I have been struggling with people understanding me lately. And I know that I don't always speak a straight line. And I know sometimes my dyslexic moments are very impactful. Like I was on the radio that one Sunday, and I was struggling with speaking, and I really asked my higher self, my inner self, my guides and communicators to help out, and it did help. But it was also kind of embarrassing a little bit that I had knowings that were coming through me, but my mouth was discombobulated because it wasn't discerning very much. So coming into this ability of who we are, that we're going to want to accept ourselves for who we are. But what are we going to be an advocate for? Are we going to be an advocate for ourselves? Are we going to be an advocate for a story? Like me being an advocate to bring love and light into this world? We're going to have to find a purpose to keep us going on a straight line, because the life around us is going to be hitting us and trying to take us off track, because that's the Shiva's energy. And if we can hold on to it. Now, the full moon that we had this last Sunday has been pretty wow. And we're coming out of it, and Mercury's going to be going into retrograde soon. So we're starting that pattern. And then we have Neptune in retrograde. I think we have Saturn in retrograde right now. So there's a lot of thinking. And I've had this mantra this month about I'm done with my negative stories. So Shiva's energy is going to help us look at those negative stories and what are they here to teach us? Because it is time to be empowered. But we're going to have things that happen to us. Like for me on Saturday, I was at a fair. And this fair, it's the land is so amazingly loved, and things are so loving. And then when I was in sanctuary, because that's where some of our booths were set up, was in sanctuary. On the stage, there was this couple that did singing bowls and the bong, the dong, whatever that. Okay, so you know what I'm talking about here. So going into this, I love singing bowls. Singing bowls are amazing. But when you have singing bowls going from 10 o'clock till 4 o'clock with the dongs, it can be a little taxing. I can do a lot of movement in my body, but that was like saying, can you really get down deep into what you need to work through and that vibration? And so I had to discern, what am I going to look into? Am I going to think about how that much that irritates me? Or am I going to discern in, how can I become more in peace with what's happening? So what did I do? I asked my body to attune to that energies of the now. I asked for my knowings to discern. I also had earplugs that came to me, and I ended up putting earplugs in to take the tone off. And then when I had a certain reading that I wanted to do with someone who was so dear, who I'm sending her love to, that I went outside and did a reading with her, and I didn't even do it at the table. And so going into this, that, we have to sometimes discern where we're going to be and what we're going to do. And there's only a chance that we can be our better self at every minute that we walk. We take a moment every time we walk, every time we talk, to be our higher self. That doesn't mean perfect self. That means our higher self, our knowing self, our trusting self. So discern what your body is telling you. Now, there's a lot of truths coming out there about our food, right? I've been having this knowing for a very long time. Who's poisoning who here? And I'm asking for wisdom to come with this, because the more processed our food is, the more tainted it is. The thing is, though, that somebody out there wants us to think that since we're buying organic, that it's going to be organic. And I've been feeling for a very long time that organic is just a little bit less pesticides. It is. And so, how can I wash? How can I choose my food? I've been really doing the baking soda and vinegar to get my grapes and stuff like that. And I let it sit in the wash for just a few minutes. So I do like um, 1/2 water, or 1/4, 3/4 water, and then the rest is baking soda and vinegar. And then I'll wash it out, and then I'll let it sit for a few minutes, and then I'll wash it a little bit more, and then I'll dump it out, and then I'll put water back in. Th- Um, um, let's say 85% water and the rest a little bit more vinegar. So I'm washing that out again. And then I let it water, tip that out, and then I wash it a little bit more, so that as we're going forward and as we're doing things, that our food is here to help us. But how can we discern what is our better food? Because I know I've been hungry for watermelon, but I also look at the numbers that before I buy watermelon, to see how it's processed, because the numbers are a little bit of tellers. So you can find all this information out. I'm not going to be the one who tells you how to discern that or not. That's up for you to find your truth. But I want everybody to remember that we are in this moment where life is flipping us upside down and inside out, to really find out what our truth is. We cannot be living in the past anymore, because our world is around us. Our world is doing our thing. Our world is being who we are. And it's amazing if we can just hold on to what we are, who we are. So be your loving self. Don't be, please, please, please don't be the one that beats yourself up. The world is going to beat us up enough. Please be interactive with you, so that you become more loving being yourself, because the world is going to be less loving being, maybe. And that's one thing that, the person who's taking over someone as presidency, even though she is not perfect for the role, but the one thing I'm noticing is she has laughter. She has laughter. And that's the only gift that she brings us right now is laughter. Because I can tell you, discerning my way through life, I'm listening to more music and I'm choosing to have laughter if I can. Because things are happening around us. And the vibration in my home, hi Paula, thank you for being here. The vibration of where we're at and what we're doing will bring us to a higher self. And if we can discern our trade through the truth, then truth can give us some benefits. Because truth is being really wonky out there. And it's up to us. What does our tummies tell us? What does our heart tell us? Our mind kind of likes to play the game. And so we have to disrupt the disruptor of the mind. But what we can be and what we can do is to find our own truth through our loving self. And so, Veronica, I have to go for now. I will watch later. Love you and love you. Light work you do. Thank you. You're awesome. Thank you very much, Veronica. Blessings on your journey. Yes, I'm going to be doing a channeling. And then I got a new skull this weekend and he wants to talk. The being that's from him wants to talk. So he asked me to bring him down so that I can have a voice for him. So yes, there is going to be a message later and I will pull a card for you. So going into this, who are we and what are we? And that's for you, yourself, and you to figure that out. Just as well, it's for me, myself, and I to figure out who I am. Because we're not going to be getting along with everybody's ideas. But what we can do is discern our way to figure out what are they here to help us with? What are they here to teach us? How can we be more in sync? And that's one thing that I do. Let me be in sync with the people around me so I can be a better self. So I can be in better communication with the ones around me. So I can be in love and light. So I can be who I'm meant to be. So giving those mantras can really help you with where you're at. Now, how do you know if you have to figure that out? Well, how do you know when you have to figure that out? Can you pull a card for me? Yes, I will pull a card for you, Veronica. How do we know how to figure that out? How to be us? Is that what you're asking, Paula? How to be us? Because all we can is be us. The person who's driving in the car by ourselves, that's us. The person who wakes up in the morning, that's us. The one in the shower, that's us. The one that's cooking dinner, that's us. So who we are is who we are discerning to be. And, if we want to be more enlightened, so how do you become your truer self is by being you and take that falsity face off. Now who I am at school is still me. I'm just the Natasha at school. If I'm doing a session with somebody, I am still me. I'm just being the clearer channel to be a voice for the universe and less standing up unless I'm called to be me in that reading. So you know finding that is our truer calling in this lifetime is to find out who we are. Now there's many, like I was having a conversation earlier with somebody who's really finding out that some people found out in another lifetime that they were they were certain people, right? They were very powerful people, King Arthur or Joan of Arc or these people that were very influential. But we are here and us, like you are Paula in this lifetime. Catherine, you're on this, you're Catherine. Veronica, you were on here earlier. You're Veronica. We are all who we are, a collective of who we are, but we have to figure out that we're not our parents' voice of us. We were the collective of their teachings, yes, but we got to find out who we are, discerning that. discerning who we are. Because we got to discern what our thoughts are. Who's that thought that just crossed my path? Is it me? Is it the TV? Is it is it the radio? Is it a video I saw earlier? Or is it that I know? So, who are you? Is the person when you're sitting by yourself and being. And sometimes we need to be a little bit more that person, but hopefully more joyful. So that's where turning on the music and dancing a little bit, or watching something that's funny, or thinking of something funny. If you're a jokester, saying jokes in your head, whatever you can do to become more joyful in this story of us, because we can get pretty heavy with the truths around us. So I hope that helps you to answer your question, Paula, is that our truer self is the one that we have to negotiate with when we're waking up and going to bed. The truer self of us as we're trying to figure out what clothes to wear. Do we put on clothes that other people say that are good, that look good on us, or do we put on clothes that feel like we feel good in when we're in it? Maybe it's a combination of both. It's the discerning of that, right? It's the discerning of who we are and what we are. So, you've been changing your name a lot. You know that. He's going to be known as Marco. Marco is going to speak to us. He is a star being from Zonart, and he has a message for us. He's a new being that came to me this Saturday, and um, he called me sister, and we just kind of got into this rhythm where as soon as I saw him and as soon as I held him, we had communication. Um, Polo, LOL. Marco Polo. That's a good one. So, and ain't that truth? Ain't that truth? Bringing us back to center, bringing us back to the person that we're meant to find, which is ourselves. Marco Polo. That was perfect. Paula, thank you for being in tuned. Okay, give me a second and I will get it to be, it's going to be easy, but hello. I am a new voice for Natasha here. I am Marco. I am from the land of Zarno. And Zarno is part of the collective of the knowings of the solar system. And I, Marco, am here to be a voice for her, for you, through her, to be a voice for you for guidance. And as I go into this new knowing, I have now a voice, and I'm so excited if you can't hear that I am finally finding someone who wanted to be a voice of love and light for me, because I am one who loves that voice of love. And that's why she was connected with me, so that I can be through her a voice of communion and love. And as we're going forward, you are on this planet becoming a very collective uplift of beings. And this is not at all easy for the vibration of your planet, because it has been a very low vibration. And when we are going from a vibration of lowness, of stagnicity, of oneness, and yes, oneness of not such a happy place, that it takes those that have a happier place. And as this dear one now is thinking of this Carol Burnett, that Carol Burnett, as much as she was through the 70s, part of this laughter that was uncontrolled laughter. And it's time for us all to be of that laughter, to help our bodies vibrate at a different vibration. This vibration that you are on this planet has been very thick and very dense, and our bodies are used to that vibration. So if you're going to eat food, if you can grow your own food, be at that vibration. Have you ever held a leaf that has grown from a plant that has not had any pesticides on it? That is the question. Feel the aliveness of it. And so when you are in the grocery store, my dears, go through the grocery store and you will feel the aliveness of your food. What is the aliveness of a box compared to a head of lettuce? Discerning that question is the answer, as this dear one has said. Discernment is something that the universe of all the compassions around us has used in a form of different words, depending on that language of that land. And so going into this, there is this dance of who you are and what you're doing. So going into who you are and what you are, it is really time for us to discern what you are and who you are. Being love and joy. Oh, that vibration is to be. That is going to be the trick of rising up your own vibration. If you stay in the denseness, my dears, in the denseness of unhappiness and uncertainty, you will not bring in the love and light into your life. So find something to bring in joyfulness for you. This one went dancing the other night, even though she should have stayed home because she knew she needed joyfulness to be with her. And so turn on that. Whatever is joyful for you, if it's a walk. But remember, walks sometimes do not always bring us to higher vibration because the world around us has damage in it, has uncertainty in it, has uncleanliness in it, has the uns in it. We want the yeses. Be free of the uns, the undoings. And yes, this undoing that you have on the planet is a need. It is a need to undo the old stories. It's like untying a shoe that has been tied up that you've just slipped on all the time, right? It's that shoe that the shoelace has been tied and you don't untie it, but it's time to untie it sometimes because you needed to tighten up the shoe a little bit. And what a new shoe you were wearing when you tighten it up instead of slipping it on and off. So going into this, that when we can be who we are and do our thing, be in a higher vibration of laughter and love and inspiration to call in this world that you're in wanting. Because the time is shifting, the matrix is shifting, the world is shifting, the ideas of whatever you want to call it is shifting. And so when can you find you? Find you in your quiet of movement. As this dear one says, center, the center of who you are. If the world wants to pull you off center by what they're saying, what they're doing, where we're at, all this noise that is all over your planet right now, that they want you to be off centered. That if you can come into your centeredness, even if there's noises outside of you, there can be stillness inside of you, right? Right? So be in the stillness of the centeredness of you and let the distractions around you move around you. Did you ever watch a car race? And this one car just keeps going around and around and around, even though there's cars moving around it and doing its thing. But there's usually this one car that is centered in what its intention is. Stay in your intentions if you can. That will keep you centered. Yes. Are you a warrior of light and love like this one is? Or are you a warrior of a truth that you need to know? It is time for our warriorships to come out. That's why I came to this dear one. And as she says to me, as she says to you, you are amazing. Keep being your love and light self because you are in the dance of love. This planet is asking us to vibrate at a lighter vibration, which is life, love, peace, and stories of all the doom and gloom. And doom and gloom, it likes to be sticky and it likes to weave its way in at that lower down or on the ground vibration, which is where you walk. So bring in the vacuum cleaners of the universe and vacuum up around your feet so that you can be in of love and light and self. All we can do is be in the moment of where you're at. And time will shift around that. Ain't that a truth? If you are where you're at, time will be where you're at. Don't get caught up in time. Time is right where you're at. And it's time for you to believe that you are the one that can change your world. Be out of the stickiness of the world around you and be of higher, lighter self. Bring in the vibration of love, of wisdom, of greatness. And as this one has a mantra that she keeps saying, and I like it, it is so in alignment. She is asking the universe of love to bring in and bless her with blessings of unpredictability and amazement as she's out of scarcity and into worthiness. And she's asking the universe to bless her as life goes forward. Let things come from unpredictable and amazing places and stay out of scarcity. Oh, that scarcity is in this world's vibration right now of lack of. And it's not the frequency. Be free of that frequency of be who you are. Because even though money needs to be used, enlightenment comes from the journey of receiving. Ain't that the story of us? She had to buy me from somebody else who gave her actually the deal that I asked them to give her. And she received me, and now I am going to help bless her with her story of bringing wisdom to her so that she can gain her path. Let the walls of the big doors of the kingdom open up in front of you. Let the kingdom open up in front of you. And let the vastness of the lands that are untaken yet, they are free from being taken yet, they are open to be taken from to you. Open up those walls of the kingdom. Quit staying in the walls of the kingdom that you have known. Open them up and say, I am ready to receive in unpredictable and amazing ways. The kingdom of the universe is opening up for you, my dears. And it's time for you to believe it. I, Marco, who chose this name for you in this land today, is blessing you with this journey of wisdom. It is time to open up your personal kingdom walls to receive the unpredictable and amazing ways. And leave the dungeons of that kingdom so that you can have the green and the grass and the wisdom to come forward as the sky is blue outside the kingdom. Because if you choose to stay in the dungeons and the lower vibration, you will only have castle over you, not with you. And that is the time that I lived on this land, was the land of kingdoms, like that. And it's time for us to be in the vastness of the world outside that kingdom that is not taken over by anybody else but your own knowings. So make it as you are and who you are. And I, Marco, am here with you to help support you. This new journey that you will hear more from me with this dear one will help you be your story. So I, Marco, love and bless you. As I have lived on this planet before and know the story of it, it is time for you to be the higher vibration that you are meant to be. Think big, because you are big. Blessings be this journey. I, Marco from Zaka, will love you. Wow. Thank you for receiving that. I hope that was a blessing for you, because that is my first time channeling him, and I am. Thank you, Marco. Yes, wisdom is coming for us. Wisdom is coming for us. I think I remember what he said. Okay, and on that note, it is time for me to do cards. Where are my cards? Well, let's see here. Who wants to come out? The Ascendant Masters. No. Because I'm thinking Ganesh. No, Ascendant Masters. Yes. So now that's where I was feeling. Ganesh was a little bit heavier. Ascendant Masters is a little bit lighter. So in my body, I'm thinking more Ascendant Masters. Okay. Okay, so Ascendant Masters. Who would like an oracle card reading for? I will do this for you. So Veronica, I will do probably you last at the very end. Is there anybody who would like a card? Okay, so Paula, yes, I can do that for you. Okay, so this is for Paula. Paula, what I'm going to ask you to do is just put out your intention that you would like to receive a message from the Ascendant Masters and for your higher good. Check Avalon. My Avalon cards are not here. I'm sorry. They are. Yeah, they're not here. I took them. I took them someplace. Oh, I took them to my fair this weekend, and I have not brought them into this room. So they are not in this room, and I don't want to take the time to go get them in the other room where the bag is. So, but I will check. Yeah, thank you. Okay, so this is for Paula. Let the card that is meant for her, for what she is needing, come forward. Okay, so I think you have a card here. Clear your shield of energy. El Moray. So this was upside down. When cards are upside down, I get that we're not seeing the whole picture of what we need to clear. There again, I'm going to go back to what Marco was saying about clearing our energy. But I will read what he says. Clear and shield your energy. Because we are in the midst of discerning a lot of our story. So as we open up to understanding new stories of ourselves, sometimes we open up doors to where we're at and what we're doing. So we need to remember how to clear Clear in your energy. Okay, so this is for you, Paula. Okay. As sensitive person, you've absorbed some harsh and toxic energy from other people. This card asks you to stop and call in El Morey and Archangel Michael to clear yourself. They also can also clear and elevate the energies in other people, your home, and your office. After clearing yourself, ask them to shield you from further intrusions. This process, called shielding, needs to be conducted once or twice a day. You can also wear a crystal pendant to act as a buffer in harsh energy situations. Okay. And remember, when I pull an oracle card for someone, if this message is for you too, I would heed that message for yourself too, because um, there's messages for everyone and everything. Okay, so additional meaning to this card. Ask Archangel Michael to cut the cords of further attachments between you and other people or positions. Stay clear of harsh or toxic substances, environments, and relationships. Honor your sensitivity. Keep your thoughts as positive as possible to keep your energy clear and clear and clean. Eliminate clutter or using feng shui to clear the energy in your home and office. So he's El Morey is the member of a royal family of Keshmar uh, in 1800s. His political focus was making human and fair changes in the law. So that's who he was. So I hope that this helps you. So as we're going into new knowings and new situations and wisdom, discerning whose energy we're around. And sometimes we cannot discern out of a situation. Like I work in elementary school during the school years, and sometimes I'm around students that I cannot not be around. And so how do I shield myself? So ask your team to shield you and be with you. And I think that's good wisdom for everyone. Okay. Is there anybody else that would like an oracle card? Catherine, would you like one? I'm hearing yes. So I'm going to do one for you. You're on Instagram. Thank you for following me today. Okay. So this is for Catherine. I think you had a couple of cards here, kid. Okay. I'm not going to read all the pages, but if you can write these down and then know that I'll read them for you here. Wow, you got some. Okay, father, you got father, husband, brother, son, Horus. So what does Horus want to tell you? Horus wants to tell you that you're in the midst of a lot of masculine energy and to discern your feminine self through the balance of masculine to femininity. Priorities, King Solomon is another one. That you are in the midst of a big shift and change and really discern out your priorities. What is it that keeps you in a higher vibration? I'm hearing because he's looking up at the stars and holding his hands up, and he's in the wind a little bit. So be in your empowerment. Saint Germain, work your magic. So higher, another one, shift up the vibration of you so that you can be your higher self. Work with the matrix, work with the moments, and And, there again is the sun, right? It's that power. It's bringing the light into the world because it's time for you to take charge of your situation. Many times we can be in the victimhood of what's happening in our world. We can be in the lower vibration, and it's time for you to be Moses and cross the seas, right? Take in what you see is to come, and be willing to step into that empowerment, because you have white calf buffalo woman to bring in the magic and being in the peace. And white calf buffalo is Mother Mary. So be in alignment with Mother Mary to be your higher self. You had some very big cards. So you were asking for you to clarify your sun card earlier. And this is a clarification. It's about be in the balance of masculine to feminine. Take your priorities. Don't be distracted by the world around you. Work your magic because you have love and light in yourself, because it's time for you to take charge of your vibration and your being, because you have magic with you. And there, I guess another calf was born that was white. And so, and that card almost came out again. So take charge of your situation. Moses. So that one fell out again. So that's like an explanation point. Okay. I hope that helped. I hope that was a better vibration. That kind of clarified your sun card a little bit. Sun is about bringing the light in, bringing the knowing in, bringing the being in, coming into that empowerment. Okay. So Veronica, you're more than welcome. Yeah. So another one was born. Is there anybody else that would like a card? If you're just popping in, I am going to pull a card for my friend Veronica. She had to go. Okay, this is for Veronica. Okay, Veronica, you have this card coming up here. Right. Thoth. So right. Be in peace. Thoth is about I think he's the god of death to rebirth, if I remember right. I could be wrong about that one. And so it's about that changing up of who you are. And remember, don't keep what is you're going through in your emotions circling around in your head. Bring it back out. Write about it. Talk about it. Do what you need to do. Like I did a video one morning when I was on the beach to remind myself of who I was. And so sometimes we do videos for ourselves. So understand that Thoth is with you, and he's going to help you bring in the differences. So half bird, half man. What are we? We are part of the whole collective, right? I hope that helped. And we're at 5:03, but I'm feeling like that there's just one card that I can pull for everybody. Woo! Ain't that a truth? There's two cards. Find the blessings in the current situation, and you can do it. The last two cards, I couldn't say this better. Find the blessings in your current situation. Krishna, right? Find the blessings in your situation. Be your golden light. Be yourself. Find the blessings, and then you can do it. Archangel Michael, he's got the sword. He's going to help us. So that I could not finish this off better. Take charge. Find the blessings in your situation and keep your vibration up if you can. It's not necessarily up or happy all the time, but try not to sink down into the lower vibrations of this planet right now. If you can, just walk on earth. Don't go down in the dungeons or under the ground. Be at least on earth. See the greenery, see the knowings, see the blessings when you can. There are lots of them out there. So I'm Natasha Ventura. This is the work I do, is to help you discern your truth through. If you're looking for some assistance, I would be grateful to be here with you. You can find me at Natasha at intuitiveclarifications.com, or intuitiveclarifications.com is my website. I also do a lot of videos on my social media, which is Natasha Venter IC. May you be blessed in your day to day. I'm hoping that Regan Forston will be on next week. If not, he will be on the third week of August. He had some situations that came up this month, but I'm hoping that this message was a blessing for you. I am going to find myself being a warrior of love and light. That is my new calling of language right now. I hope this finds you well. And Paula, thank you. You will have a let me know what Avalon says when you get them out. And as always, thanks. Yes, I will have them next week for the show, I think, unless Regan is here, but I'll try to pull an Avalon card. And Paula, if you can email me, I will pull an Avalon card for you. Blessings be on your journey, and know that no matter where you're at, you are so loved. You guys are all a miracle, so be your miracle. Bye now. Blessings be.